Today we'll have the seminar with your presentations about the HTTP model, and let me spend just 2 or 3 minutes in the beginning of our seminar to highlight some important things. As I told you on the previous seminar, at the end of the previous seminar, those models are just like an approach to make us sure that all important things are under our control. But of course, it is just an approach, just in a way to make our way easier. I don't know, have you ever heard about the stakeholders theory? But in a few words, it is an idea that our company consists of a few groups of people, and each group has their own interests. For example, marketing department is responsible for achieving marketing results. Some people inside the company in financial department are looking for only financial things and maybe for the personal ideas to make a good career or to spend more years right in this company because of any social important things and etc. So in a few words, all the people inside the company and some people outside the company have their own interests, and each group, each person is the stakeholder. They have their own interests according to this company, and together they make a lot of movings of the company in different directions. And the key role of the manager is to find the right direction of all these efforts. I'm talking about this theory to show that today's seminar will be maybe more interesting, I hope, maybe more difficult. But today's presentation we will provide as a group of the stakeholder. Don't worry about your scores. It doesn't take any influence on your final results, but my goal is to find more interesting way to present our ideas, our startups. I would like to make our experience more closer to the real business, to the real situations, and show you that every day in the real companies you need to be sure that you know directions of development of each your team members, of each your officers, and that you are clear about their ideas and things. So I would like to start our lesson with the presentation by the Skillbox team with their product Smartly. Dear friends, don't change your presentation, but during your presentation, try to understand that you are a real startup. You are going to find any funding from the business angels, and your opponents will be the business angel. They have a lot of money, and they're looking for interesting projects to invest and to earn some more. Your opponents will be Spotify and their sales team. Please concentrate your efforts on the issues that might be significant for those people. Of course, this group of people will have a very specific matters to clarify, not general about the general ideas about this project, very specific issue. I will hope that this structure will make our presentation more interesting and concrete. I will send you in the chat your roles. And now let's go to start. If you have any question, please ask me, but I will help you in the first presentation to clarify how should it work.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I wanted to say that may we be, for example, the second team, because we have some problems with the presentation. We can't like download it and open. So may you give us time to to solve these issues, please.
Yeah, okay, no problem.
Thank you.
We need to change the role in this case, and the first team will be specified with their presentation about the product brief, and your opponents will be. Give me a second. I'll find this schedule. Your opponents will be Skillbox and iOS sales, but your role will be different. Spotify is going to find conclusion with your officer. Yes, my friends, you are as stakeholders inside the marketing department of the current medicine company. You are responsible for providing the marketing things for medicine products, for making the marketing campaigns, but you find a very good idea about the digital product that will be so successful for current customers. And your opponents, Skillbox and Area Sales, you are the CEO and you are the top managers of that company, and you need to clarify, is this product will this product be successful in this market or not? And the marketing department, that is company Breeze, prepared the STP model that to show you that this product is the key to success in the modern digital environment. Yeah. Do you have any question about this structure?
Yes.
The rule will be absolutely the same, but you need to find a little bit more specific question. The idea is right in this point.
Excuse me.
Yeah, please ask me. Yeah.
So finally, are the opponents business angels, or are they just some top managers of the company?
For you will have different cases for
Okay.
Spotify team, for Breathe. This is the marketing department, and opponents will be like groups of officers, CEOs, chief financial officers, and etc. In this case, in case of Breathe, this is, I repeat it again, the marketing department that tried to defend their idea about the new digital products. And you, Skillbox and iOS sales, like an opponents, will be like a top managers. So all the actions is just inside the company. All the stakeholders are inside the company. But please try to image what is the most important for those people. What are the real interests, and how could this model help you marketers to prove your words, and for you officers to understand, is it worth it or not? Okay, I will help you in the first presentation. Don't worry, the rules will be absolutely the same, but just a little bit more specific question is just that we need. Okay, let's go.
So today we present a STP model for our new app Breathe. I'm sorry, 1 minute. I'm sorry for interrupting. So today we present a STP model. I will remember you a little bit about our app. It's an app for support people with chronic respiratory conditions as asthma, COPD, and post-COVID-19 conditions. It's pretty large audience, potential audience. And it has specific features that we will observe in the next points. So about segmentations, our core idea about segmentation for this app is based on statistics that shows that no matter of age, people have these conditions because they're chronic, and there is a problem in reporting about the conditions and in diagnosing. So many people not diagnosed with these diseases, and according to statistics in Russia, it's a little bit outdated, but still a pretty useful statistic about asthma and COPD that in comparing with world situation, we have less percentage of diagnosed asthma and COPD. So we should encourage people with our marketing campaigns to go to the specialists and learn more about themselves. We should highlight some potential conditions of their bodies that may be symptoms of asthma or COPD, and encourage self-control at the first. As you can see, also we differentiate by the conditions, because different condition requires different type of control and adjustments about environment and about their questionnaire of symptoms. Also, different conditions requires creating different types of content, but this diversity of controlling conditions by our future app, it's a pretty big advantage of this app, because many other apps are focused on asthma specifically, or on general help of doctors' consultations. So we would be diverse and specific enough to apply for this audience, and we will try to engage self-control, and our strategies would be different for people who just wanted to make reports about their medicine tracker and environment situation, and people who try to communicate with their doctor more in more digital way through our platform. About targeting, it's pretty same points, but from a little bit different scheme. So we, as I said, should create different type of content for different diagnoses, and general content that would be engage self-awareness and awareness about these respiratory conditions. So in terms of locations, there is two problems. First, adjustments of environmental data, and not in all locations we can buy precise environmental data. It depends on the availability of data in specific regions, and also lab accessibility. So we would provide this function, and we would spread information about this function in regions and target people in these regions based on our contracts with labs. And also, again, about type of control. So our main interest here maybe to cooperate with all our sources to make people think about their health more, and By that, we would show how trustful we are in our intents, and it would make help. It can make help to other products of the company to be more trustful. And SCP model, we can compare ourselves with our competitors. So I would start with left top. It's Propeller, MD, Asthma, and so on. Is app that connected with medicine companies, and they're focused on controls of asthma condition, and some of them have pretty high level of functions. They provide information about environmental conditions, a medicine tracker. Some of them have symptoms trackers, but they are not connecting with any labs for specific tests. They are focused only on one condition. They don't have any specific communication function for communication with doctors, so they don't have wide range of disease. About asthma and health and asthmatics, they have pretty specific functions that focus on only environmental notifications or medicine tracker. So they are not payment-based apps as with comparing of Propeller and MD asthma, but they have low variety of functions. As StartMed and others that are placed in right bottom, they have pretty general functions of communication with specialists about wide range of disease, with wide range of specialists, but they don't have functions of self-control or any reports. And our closer competitor on the market is pretty undeveloped and ROV that have some specific features that close to us. As they also work with asthma and post-COVID-19 conditions, but they don't have all that variety of functions that we can provide. And their focus is now, according to their positioning, is more about young people, but people of middle age. But as we mentioned, we couldn't differentiate in that way. We should observe all our potential audience that include people of all ages. And we should include OCD, P in our range of disease, because it's one of the most undiagnosed condition in this list. And we provide pretty big variety of functions. So I guess that's all that I wanted to say today. Waiting for a question.
Yeah, good. Now we're going to our questions, and the first one will be skill box. Please try to identify the real goals of the top managers and questions that they need to clarify using of the STP model. I try to think about it, and I create a lot of questions. So if you need something, please let me know. I'll help you. But now we're going to your ideas. Okay, let's get started. Yeah, sorry, I will repeat again the very important things. This is the marketing department of the Current company, and you have a lot of products, offline products. You prepared a lot of drugs, and you have a lot of the current target audiences. You have a lot of current people with a high level of loyalty. So this is the new product, the new digital environment, and you need to clarify the potential benefits of using those ideas. Okay.
Okay, I suppose we can start. And first question, will you expand the company to include people not only with diagnoses you named, but also work with people with other diagnoses? And if yes, how do you plan to expand in this direction?
I think this product was stated specifically as a platform for respiratory care disease. Because when we have this focus, we can make the system work and adjustable for these specifications. But when we make this range wider, range of disease, we have a problem with overloading with overloading with data, and some functions would be totally unuseful for some conditions and diseases, but for others they would be like really necessary. So I don't think it is a case to include more conditions in our list. Maybe it could be other product. Also, type of contact. We should be like pretty focused to provide clear and structured content, and it's possible only with average this specific theme, average range of topics. So that's the point.
I got it. Thank you. Okay, may you return the positioning map, please?
Yeah, 1 second, please.
1 second, yeah.
So.
Okay, the question is, how will you test whether your app will be relevant in modern world according to, for example, even to the positioning map, that there is another app competitor, yeah, which has the same amount of functions, but it is even okay, no, a little bit different functions. But okay, the question is the same. How will you understand to test whether your app is relevant and needed?
Of course, research is pretty resource consumed process, but we should make some researches. But according to current available data from different Russian governmental research, we have pretty much people with undiagnosed COPD. And these conditions also should be observed. And apps on, I believe you would like to comment on apps on the top left. So they works only specifically with asthma, without any without any functions for art and adjustments for other conditions. And some of them, as propeller, is fully focused on asthma because it's even linked with specific medicine. So we provide, in comparing with them, some functions for COPD and post-COVID-19 conditions that they are also not taken into account. So based on this, we can say that we could be more interesting for a wide range of audience. So I think something like that.
Okay, thank you. And our last question, if we consider the prospect of expanding the application abroad, do you think the strategy of attracting a foreign target audience will be the same as the Russian one, or will be different? And if it will be different, what is the differences?
Of course, it would be different because different countries has different situation with healthcare system. Some of them work with specific cases of buying, how it's called. Not sure how it's called in English, but они покупают страховку in some companies that provide specific services that could be pretty same to our platform in terms of functions. And all their healthcare system can be pretty different from us. Also, we would have, I guess, many difficulties with working with labs, so maybe this function wouldn't be available for if we would expand our app abroad. And the targeting may be a little bit different because here, in comparing with Russia, other countries have a higher level of awareness and higher level of high number of diagnosed people with these conditions. So maybe here we would more focus on electronic self-control reports because as well as I know many countries even in Europe has problem with electronic reports, not electronic, internet reports like in some digital formats. So we would be focused on that and on self-reports, so I guess.
Thank you for your answers.
Yeah, okay, I have a sales team.
Thank you for your presentation. And our first question, are you planning to introduce this application in the initial stage for the employees of our corporation? We guess that this may create an image of responsible attitude towards employees within the framework of sustainable development goals. What do you think about this?
Yeah, before any offers and introduction, we can just make some conferences and webinars about respiratory healthcare awareness. and that may involve this in this system. So I think this format may be pretty useful in this case because we can organize it in borders of borders of company. I'm not sure how I can develop this really good idea. Thank you. I don't know.
Understand? You mean that firstly, this app will be used by employees of our company, or they just will discuss something about this in conferences?
I'm not sure in what point we are now. So if our app are not released and we just discuss potential release, we can like kind of test our app on our on the employees, but in not terms that it wouldn't work and we just use them as experiments. But we can make sure that the all functions are comfortable and convenience for usage and get their reviews and provide them. Obviously, it's for free. But if we already released app, we can start with engaging people to use it without any forces and just make this educational process and then offer using the idea of using this app. So.
Okay, I understand. I agree with you.
Next question is, how fast can you occupy your target audience in the market?
Of course, it's based on the resources. Now I'm not sure about the timeline of other apps in this sphere, but I can say that this startup that I mentioned, that I don't actually remember the name, but there is one startup and it started in 2018, but it works on a system of donations and some cases of other not stable investments. So we can say, but they have pretty good how could I say it? Campaign of informing people about them. So I could say it may took 1 year or like 2 years with a good amount of resources, but I'm not sure about this. Sincerely can say that we don't have any specific information.
What kind of resources?
I couldn't speak about the time because I'm not sure in what point we are here. Like if we design the situation and would specify the point where Apple is here, like right now, so I maybe would be more specific.
What kind of resources do you need?
We need resources. Firstly, is research for our content, research for our audience more precisely, because governmental information have some limitations. Also, we need the team for development of the app by itself, the consultation of specialists, the contracts with labs, the system of delivery, and the contracts with agencies of environmental condition. So resources for these points on the first.
Okay. Thank you.
It was third question, I guess, about resources. So
No. About the resources was
okay.
Just a clarification.
Okay, and I will ask you the last question. What goals do you want to achieve, for example, in the first 5 years in each target segment?
I don't know on what point we're now. Like, may you clarify on which stage?
Yeah, I will clarify.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ksenia, for.
It's difficult to think about any development if I don't know where I'm now. So.
Yeah, Ksenia, thank you for a very good question. I didn't expect that I will hear it, but your colleagues as the marketing department will be responsible for the launching new product. And the most important issue that you will have is how could we measure the efficiency of this product for 1 year, maybe for any particular time. And by using the STP model, you will need to clarify that the key measure of success is the covering a few part of our target audience. Yeah, of course, we don't know which part, but we need to understand that marketing department, by using STP model, is responsible for measuring only those goals. Of course, not any financial issues, because other departments are responsible for financial issues. Of course, not any product development stage, because product developers are responsible for that. But you, as marketing department, is responsible for covering any part of your target audience, and it will be better if you will find different parts of different audiences. But in case of your product, of course, the target audience is pretty simple, and maybe when we are going to start, we need to plan just one target audience and to cover some part of them. Okay, I don't think that you need to answer this question, because I did it, and thank you, your opponents, for good question. I think in those way our debate stage will be more detailed, and we will be more diving into the real goals of the business and the real workflow, I hope. Okay, thank you for a presentation. It's a really good product, and you provided the real good STP analysis. And now we're going to the second presentation by the team Skillbox. We also know them as Smartly. Are you ready, my friends?
And who are the opponents?
The opponents will be Tinkoff and Spotify. Your case will be, as I told before in the beginning of the seminar, you are startup owners, and you are going to find any funny. Tinkoff and Spotify are investors, I don't know, technological investors, or like oligarchs from the 19th, vodka skiing, doesn't matter. But you have a lot of money, and of course you have an absolutely particular question for everyone who is going to ask you to invest. So please start your presentation, and your opponents, Tinkoff and Spotify, in this order, will prepare your question as the business angels. Okay.
Okay, let us start. Today we are going to talk about the STP model of Smartly, and let's talk about segmentation first. So we are talking about demographic segmentation. We may say about age 25 to 45, sex any, but probably mostly men, marital status single or married. We didn't find any exact connection between these issues. Occupation, business sphere, delivery, management, etc. Education level, undergraduates, unfinished or finished higher education. Income varies from 25,000 rubles to 500,000 rubles. Behavioral segmentation. We are talking about people with advanced internet and mobile, who are advanced internet and mobile users, people who are lack of time and self-organization or just management, people whose day is full of tasks, so business or usual, people who are visiting destinations for the first time without tours, like tourists. When we are talking about geographic segmentation, we are talking about Russia and firstly CIS countries. So in the future, there are possibilities to expand abroad, but now we're talking only about such geographic segmentation. So Russia, all cities whose population is higher than 1 million, it's Moscow, St. Petersburg, Novosibirsk, Ekaterinburg, Kazan, Nizhny Novgorod, Chelyabinsk, Samara, Omsk, Rostov-on-Don, Ufa, and actually that's all for cities with 1 million. Location, suburbs far from the city center and facilities, or just villages, maybe some luxury villages for businessmen, or maybe something like this. Value segmentation, people who value time and need help with the organization of their day by simplifying roles. And now my colleague will continue about targeting and positioning.
Okay. What about targeting? The target audience of our company is people whose profession is associated with building a road to different points of the city. For example, couriers, taxi drivers, businessmen. Such people need to build the most optimized road. These people value their time, so they want to build a road so that it takes the minimum amount of time. Their pain is a modern application cannot build a road to a large number of points. Tourists are also one of the target segments of our company. Arriving in a new country or city, they do not know where to go and how to get to certain places. And they want to see as many attractions as possible in the short duration of their vacation. Therefore, the applications that will build these very roads will be very convenient for them. Their pain is they do not know the city and do not understand how to get from one place to another. Target market. The target audience of Smartly are young people of 25 to 45 years old from Russia and CIS countries. Smartly has subscription which turns off ads. Segments that could be more willing to buy it is people who will use app every day. People who need more convenient and organized routes and maps, for example, taxi drivers, couriers, postmen, etc. Targeting strategy of Smartly is multi-segment. We have selected the most successful market segments and we plan to focus our products specifically on them. There are two well-defined market segments. Ordinary users, it is people who will use the app in personal needs, for example, tourists, and professional users, people who will use the app in professional needs, for example, taxi drivers, couriers, businessmen. And now we will talk about positioning. Our company will position itself as an app will allow a user to achieve final destination as fast as possible in the most optimal way. Comparing them to most of the competitors, our app positions itself not as a map, but as an advanced tool which can construct long roads. Also, our company solves business problems an app can be used in business purposes. We offer the best services in the city logistics. Overall, our app can help users with complicated requests that are not analog on the market. We will be the first obtainable app for users which has such functionality. And here you can see our positioning map. We take as 1 second, please. As axis X functionality and as axis Y price of the apps. And Smartly, as you can see, is a high functionality app, but also it's the most expensive among others. But I think that the functionality of the app has more advantages, and people will be ready to pay for it. I think it's so. And our conclusion. Here you can see our customer avatar. It is advanced mobile users, people from 18 to 35 years old who apply the rules of time management in life, tourists, and people whose profession is connected with building a road to different points of the city. Thank you for your attention. And now we are ready to answer your questions.
Okay, thank you. Tinkoff, Tim, please think about the things that are important for business angels and try to ask good questions.
Okay, I would like to start. So, as rational investors, we are interested in rationality of our investments. So, could you please answer the question, why should we invest in your expensive and complex startup while we can invest in Yandex Navigator, which is cheaper and has better functionality due to your chat? By the way, it could be useful to show the chat one more time. So the comparison of different companies in that sphere. Can I clarify it on the chat? Chart, sorry, graph.
Okay, let us think for a moment, please. I think that our app is more appropriate for professionals, and our target audience is different from Yandex, because Yandex it is
because Yandex, it is not startup, and they have its own investors, and I don't think that it is a good idea to become 1 second. To become next investor because they have own. But our app is something new in the market because functionality of our app it is about union of other apps in one because our app mix in itself different functions from other apps, and now you cannot find any apps that are similar to our.
Yeah, I wanted to conclude that the main feature is that we are talking about different things because we have a little bit different functionality comparing with Google and Yandex. So I don't really. So if you want to invest in a big company that is already existing in the market and whose success is undisputed, but with quite, yes, it is a very developing company and they have lots of features, interesting features, but we are another app with another functionality which we are mentioned lots of times. So because yes, and as Lera said, there is no such app on the market yet, and we may be the I don't know. We believe that we will solve someone's pain, and we believe that the novelty of this app and the functionality, yes, the unifying of all of the features and even adding some new features will allow us to be competitive in the market with such big companies. But yeah, we also have another target audience, as also Lera said about this, but the main thing is different functionality and different target audience we distinguish, more professional and more specific ones.
Do you have something to add?
Maybe I can add that that our audience is different from Yandex. If Yandex is a general app that every user know it, and it is your basic maps that yes, there are some functions. For example, people can use it for drafting some destinations, but our app is specific for professionals that who have to use maps every day, every hour of day, and I think that our app is unique, and it is a reason why you should invest in our company.
Okay, thank you. I need to clarify this thing. Of course, the reason not to invest in Yandex because there are a lot of other investors is not a very good idea in your presentation, especially when going to have any discussion with the investors. But now we need to understand that it is a very simple and very useful idea to find a niche. For example, if there is a lot of firms who work with in sports industry such as Adidas and etc. But there are specific firms in each specific type of sports, and they are successful right in those directions. For example, there is a specific marks in soccer, in tennis and volleyball and etc. And they are successful right in those niches. This is the very important idea. If you have competitors that work on a whole market, you need to find a specific target audience and try to create the product that will be that will fit their need better than this huge product that fits for everyone. And your product is a product from this niche, and it will be successful right for not the whole audience, but only for your target audiences. But it means that we will find some other questions, but I hope that we will hear it from your debates opponents. Okay, let's move to the second question.
Okay, thank you for your good answer. So now, how can you attract new customers from a new market segment, and what ways to attract new customers do you think will be crucial for your project? They are connected.
Yes, 1 minute. We need 1 minute to think. I think that new customers who are not part of our target audience and customers that we are not focused on can learn about our app from their relatives, from their friends.
Acquisition.
And maybe some other acquaintances. And these people who use this app already, they will be delighted with this application, and they will recommend it to everyone. And because of that, we can reach a new targets and new audiences. Also, advertising cannot be hidden from those who are not its target audience, and we cannot hide our advertisement from people. And people from different segments will see it. And maybe sooner or later, drivers of cars will join our application, people who need to get somewhere once. And with such small steps, we will be able to attract new customers from other segments. I think so.
Okay, thank you for your answer. So, our third and last question. You mentioned that your targeting strategy will target to groups of regular users and professional ones. So, how will the customer acquisition strategy be different for those two segments? I will print it.
Thank you for your question, and we need 1 minute, please. So we may assume that there will be completely different ways of attraction of these two segments, because these two groups have different goals and pains. And if for ordinary users, the most important in the application will be a description of some places where they are going, while they are going, yes, on their road. And drawing up the most convenient road, like in terms of transport, while at the same time people who need the application for work need to draw up more complex roads where there are several points of the destination. And that's why we will focus attention in advertising for professionals, the convenience of planning a road, and for ordinary users, we will press on fact that using the application, they can find out everything about their destinations without any third-party applications, as an example.
Okay, thank you for your answer. So that will be it for Tinkoff team questions.
So my first question would be, what your plan about introducing payment system? Because such mentioned companies as Yandex Map and Google Map, they work in this big like ecosystems of different functions that provide these companies, and they not so harmed but by big investments. But in case of your app is really big investments without any big support from big brand. So on what is the strategy in this case to back the investments?
Could you please repeat your question or write it in the chat?
What is your strategy of payment system or any other like ways of profitability of your app that can cover all resources that would be required for creating this service?
Yes, a good question. We need 1 minute to think. For beginning, we will have a subscription in our app that will be cost about 129 rubles, but in follow development, we plan to develop some other subscriptions. And also we want to cooperate with companies, and will be some corporate subscriptions. It is I think that it will be very profitable because there are some companies that companies how to say that need such apps, because for example different deliveries or different taxi companies, for example delivery food or Yandex Delivery, because their app doesn't support this amount, this number of points that will be that their workers, such as taxi drivers or couriers, should visit. And I think that cooperating with these companies will give enough amount of money to cover expenses for this app. I think so. Maybe someone from my team can add something.
Well, maybe only to conclude, yes, there is a subscription for 129 rubles, which obviously won't cover all the expenditures, but you may also close such subscription, which so, for example, for this, there is a subscription and there is an advertisement paid, yes, from our companies with which we are cooperating. You may restrict this subscription by paying, for example, 100 rubles. And yes, as Lera said, for further development, we may consider the cooperation, the entering the B2B market, and then there will be opportunity of some corporate subscription for big companies, and just paid promotion from even city facilities, as we were talking about them, restaurants, cafeterias, shops, barber shops, and shopping malls, I don't know, everything according to each subscription, like business and usual. There will be different associations with this and different amount of payments which we will receive from our partners. So we consider this, like that, and we suppose that such money should cover all the expenditures.
Okay, and are there any specific tools that you plan to use for targeting B2B market segment?
Yes, we need 1 minute, please.
I don't really understand what you mean by targeting strategy, but we may assume that yes, B2B market is a good perspective for us, and we consider this as a corporate subscription that will work where the company subscribes and employees can use it. As we have lots of examples, even Sber with all other subscriptions, yes, Oka, Sber Market, Sber Mega Market, and so on. And we suppose that this can be done with companies that have careers. Yes, obviously, food delivery, maybe restaurants, delivery of personal belongings or papers, or people who take managerial positions, maybe some managerial who have to move a lot and visit a great amount of places at one day. And yeah, we also may consider, for example, travel agencies. So by subscription, they will provide their customers with access to all the functionality and the application of the application, yes, of our app. So I think that's it about tactics. Maybe someone wants to add something.
No, that's enough. Let's move to the third one.
So the last question, are there any plans for maybe some kind of collaborations with other companies for creating additional functions and values for your customers?
We need 1 minute to think. I think in the future we can collaborate with the restaurants to develop food delivery as it did Yandex delivery or Sber, as I know. I think it will be very useful because I think that delivery of food and maps they are connected, and it is very important to have such collaboration for both companies. And I don't know, maybe my colleague will continue.
Yeah, I wanted to say about Sber, even if we are talking about Sber Mega Market, Yes. With clothes, do you know that they have now in offices of Sber, how do we say this, wardrobes? I don't know, a special place where you can wear something and understand, like as it is in Wildberries or Ozon. So even for this communication, which comes to my mind, firstly, yes, this primitive cooperation with Sber, and also about tourism as an example, we may try to cooperate with Anton Ptushkin, a very famous travel blogger, because we suppose that our app, yes, his task is he has to visit a great amount of places in the country that he maybe doesn't know. Maybe it is also in Russia, yes, maybe later it is abroad. But we suppose that our app will solve this, and such cooperation with these companies and bloggers may be profitable for us.
Thank you for your answers.
Okay, good. Thank you for your answers. Now I will ask you an additional one, and please try to answer quickly your ideas. We told about that your product is specific product in niche for not a wide range of customers, for restaurants and etc. Someone who is going to use a lot of maps to create the best roads. And further, you told about that your strategy of promotion is not so aggressive. You count on recommendations from your current customers to potential, and that your value of customers will grow by this way. But in this case, we need to highlight that there are a lot of players with great financial sources such as Yandex and etc. And of course, if they find your startup and they estimate that this idea is good and profitable, they will repeat it very quickly and according to their sources in promotion, in big data, in current customers, they will be more successful in the long term. So in this case, how could you describe your strategy to be successful in the long term? I think that there are two ways, but maybe you will find something else. In a few words, few ideas. What should we do generally to be more successful in the long-term way? To avoid the competition from the huge ventures, with the great sources, financial, marketing, data, and etc.
We were talking about this on our first presentation, where there were a question of will Yandex or Google implement such functionality? And we were discussing that finally it wouldn't be profitable for them because they are famous for other functions and other stuff. But even if we assume that our app will have a success in Russian market, which will, as in my perception, yes, in my opinion, if we will have success, then our app will be quite well known. At least people will know what is Smartly, what Smartly is. And even after only after this, Google or Yandex may apply such techniques if they will, I don't know, understand that it is also a profitable niche for them, and if they will suppose that they may do this better. Yes, I agree with you about their more expanded marketing sources, and just even because their name is well known, yeah. But in this case, then we will be in attack. What is it? Market, yeah. Then we will need to think of some other stuff and issues and functions that will distinguish us from such big companies. But in my perception, we are about different things, and I'm not sure that Yandex and Google will implement such techniques, at least before we will show some good results and something like this. At least our name will be already existing in the market, and some people will understand that, okay, Smartly was the first one, and maybe we will continue to be the first in these innovations. It's my opinion.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I agree with you, but to be honest, it's a very simple thing to copy any innovations, and Yandex and other huge players always do it. There are a lot of cases when young startups were copied by such players, and in this case, I guess that there are two strategies. First of all, is to grow your customers base as quick as possible, to invest a lot into their marketing, to invest a lot to all marketing channels, and to grow up your customers base. And finally, you will sell your product to Yandex or to any other huge venture by real huge money. And the second strategy is leadership prices. You will estimate such low price as it's possible, and all other players such as Yandex, Google, and etc. Will evaluate your business as not as profitable as they need, and they don't find reasons to invest into those directions. There are cases from my experience, and I don't know how to make it into the structure, but generally there are two working strategies in the current current technology market. Okay, thank you a lot. Now we'll have a break.
Yeah, I wanted.
Yeah.
Maybe there is a third option of cooperation, not selling, but cooperation with such big companies. It's like cooperation with our how do we call this?
Maybe in theory, but I haven't seen such cases in the practice, because they have a lot of sources to invest and to buy everything, every team, every product, and to grow with their sources and to monopolize this market. And generally, the way is this: to buy and to decrease the price of the selling. Cooperation maybe, but I have never seen something like that. In theory, yes. Why not?
Okay, maybe, yeah. I agree with you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Now we'll have a break till 1 p.m. I will send you the next team in a few minutes, because I need to find my schedule. And now we'll have the break. Just a second. I will tell you. The next team will be Tinkoff, and your opponents will be Aviasales and Skillbox. Tinkoff, you have a product, the Goose Juice, and your role will be more interesting. You're going to get USA citizens. Yes, you're going to be a USA citizen, and you need to get the special type of visa, and you're going to get visa as an investor, and not an investor. You are like the businessman who is going to make something useful for the USA's economy and for USA's society. Yeah, and you need to ask USA government, not USA, every country, and you need to ask for a government to help you to provide this product, to develop it, and you are asking for funding, not a lot, but just maybe a few money, and you are asking for support. And your opponents will be the government agencies that are researching a lot of ideas, a lot of startups, and they need to find the best one that be the most successful for the economy and for society too. So according to this point, there are two types of questions that might be useful. How could it influence on the economy, so the sustainable of your product, etc., and how could it influence on the society at all, maybe any social mission, and how would it work with your product? Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, now we have a break. See you again at 1 p.m. Please prepare a presentation, and now we'll have a short break. See you again.